Hello, let's inspect the Baron Zombie Guardian. The Baron is a peculiar item. It encourages hoarding strength in a minion build. In most cases, it is very expensive to do so, but here, 1000 strength should be enough. The next breakpoint that allows you to summon one extra zombie is at 1500 strength, which is unachievable and redundant in our case. It's because the build uses tons of unique items aimed to improve the character's damage and survivability. The Baron is still extremely good as it provides one of the best life recovery mechanics for a minion build, and lets you summon 2 extra zombies. These minions should not die at all. As for their damage, it's physical, but with auras like Wrath, Anger, and Hatred from Unwavering Crusade, they will also deal tons of elemental damage of all kinds. It's actually the main reason to pick Guardian over Necromancer. All these elemental auras are very potent, their level is high, and they're free. It has almost no life unreserved, so to not die of chaos damage it uses a coruscating elixir which has to stay permanently on. It is achievable with a Traitor Keystone. The maximum energy shield you can reach is around 6k. To recover it quickly you will use the Baron's Leech combined with Ghost Reaver. You're using only zombies. We managed to summon 13 of them, but we had a great amulet. Focus on their physical damage, it's the type of damage they deal by default. Hatred will grant more cold damage based off of this physical damage. Anger and Wrath will add a lot of flat elemental damage. The build is extremely tanky with its high maximum elemental resistances from Purity of Fire, Ice, and Lightning combined with Topaz, Ruby, and Sapphire Flasks. Its armor is somewhat good, mostly sourced from Determination and Radiant Faith. The build also has good ES Leech and some block chance. Clear speed is not very good, the minions are uncoordinated and slow. They can't hover above the ground like SRS but are still melee. Minion builds often perform well against bosses and this build is no exception. It has quite high damage. It uses a lot of cheap uniques, but some of the high-end upgrades are very expensive. It should be affordable in its basic form. The build uses a lot of unique items, only the belt and your rings should be rare. All the required attributes are either provided by the passive skill tree or have to be gained from the aforementioned jewelry. Most of the uniques are cheap, so seek suitable corrupted implicits on them. A corruption that grants 2 extra levels to socketed aura gems may be a good place to host your purity auras. We also had gloves with elemental weakness on hit. The Baron lets you summon 2 more zombies and upgrades them with your strength. It too enhances your own survivability if your zombies can leech, which they should. Maada's teaching weapon upgrades your zombies' skill gem level and their base critical strike chance. All the rolls here matter, so a good weapon may be expensive. Prism Guardian. You can socket here 3 of your auras. These will gain 2 extra gem levels and reserve life at a great value. This build doesn't use life anyway. Ghostride converts half of your life to energy shield, which you have a lot of from strength stacking, making this armor a good addition. It also has tons of chaos resistance and ES. Shaper's Touch grants you a lot of mana from strength, which results in a lot of ES via Radiant Faith. It increases ES per strength as well. Use Corrupted Gloves with Elemental Weakness Curse on hit. Alberon's Warpath Boots are a generous boost to your chaos resistance, movement speed, and strength. Not much else, but that's enough. Eyes of the Great Wolf, 30% increased attributes, and +2 to maximum number of raised zombies, is by far the best combination of mods to receive on this amulet. It would make it the best in slot gear piece. Replica Dragonfang's Flight Amulet with a modifier for extra gem level to your raised zombies is the second best option. It doesn't increase your strength, which may be problematic. If you can't reach 1000 strength with it, just use a rare amulet with a lot of strength. 3 Grand Spectrum Jewels should give your zombies plus 90% to critical strike multiplier. It's better the higher their melee crit chance is. On your split personality jewels, strength is mandatory. Intelligence, dexterity, or energy shield are good as a second option. Socket them in a large cluster jewel next to the Eldritch Battery Keystone. You have a relatively low maximum life and so you will get stunned often. Use Immutable Force Jewel to negate this obstacle. If you don't have it, select Brine King as your major god. Brutal Restraint will provide you with extra dexterity, and the very important Traitor Keystone. It allows you to have all your flasks up permanently. Watcher's Eye. Purity of Fire, Ice, and Lightning can roll a mod that causes physical damage to be taken as fire, cold, or lightning damage. It boosts your survivability by a lot because you're better suited to receive this type of damage. You're affected by other auras, but these have a much less valuable pool of modifiers. A lot of elemental resistances will be provided by your flasks and auras, so they're not that important. Chaos resistance may be hard to get, so try prioritizing that. You don't need maximum life, it will be all reserved. Focus on Energy Shield instead. On your bone rings, you may be able to find minion-specific modifiers, but strength is of most importance in this build. Try to get 1000 of it. 1500 is probably out of your reach. A synthesized belt with increased strength is the best option, but if you already have enough strength, go for a Stygian Vice or even Darkness Enthroned unique belt. Look here for strength and chaos resistance. A synthesized ring with increased strength may be good, but it's optional. Focus on flat strength, chaos resistance, and various minion mods that can only be found on bone rings. Use large cluster jewels with bonuses to minion damage, strength, attributes, and increased effect of small passives. 2 of such jewels with 12 passives each is what you should aim for. Dread March and Renewal are great to have on medium cluster jewels. These make your zombies durable so that they will not die during a fight. Coruscating Elixir is mandatory. You need to have it up permanently as it protects you from chaos damage. It's also a ruby flask that makes you take less fire damage. Use Topaz Flask and Sapphire Flask. For their suffixes, you can look for increased armor and movement speed or reduced curse effect on you. Raise Zombie. Zombies are your main damage source in this build. They deal base physical damage with hits and require a corpse to spawn. Link them up with melee physical damage, multi-strike, minion damage, feeding frenzy, and increased critical strike support gems. Raise Spectre. Use specters to enhance your overall performance. Try using ghosts of minions that generate charges such as monkey chieftains. An animated guardian can also have a positive effect on your whole group of zombies and your character, depending on the items it is wearing. Our guardian wields Kingmaker so that we have the Fortify buff. Link them with minion life support. Spirit Offering increases crit chance and crit multiplier of your minions for a short while. Desecrate creates corpses to be used to spawn zombies or use the Spirit Offering skill. Convocation recalls your minions back to you and grants them life regeneration. The following 3 auras are to be socketed, preferably in a corrupted item with +2 to level of socketed aura gems. Use Purity of Ice for extra cold resistance and maximum cold resistance. Try to increase its level to 23. Use Purity of Fire for extra fire resistance and maximum fire resistance. Try to increase its level to 23. Use Purity of Lightning for extra lightning resistance and maximum lightning resistance. Try to increase its level to 23. Link these with Enlightened support to reserve less mana on them. In your Prism Guardian socket these 3 auras. Determination adds and increases the character's and his allies' armor for better physical hit damage mitigation. With Pride, enemies near you will take increased physical damage. This effect is stronger after 4 seconds. Haste increases movement, attack, and cast speed for you and your minions. Use Discipline for an additional ES. It's important since it's an energy shield build. Precision adds accuracy rating and increases crit chance. Dread Banner grants chance to impale and increases impale effect. Enemies have less accuracy rating. Precision and Banner have to be linked with generosity. These auras won't affect you, only your allies. The effect of these auras is increased. Frostblink is a simple mobility skill. It teleports you over a short distance. Vulnerability causes the enemies to take greatly increased physical damage, where it's the highest type of damage of your zombies. This should be applied via Glove's implicit modifier equipped by you or your animated guardian, if you have also equipped it with windscreen boots. You should obviously kill all 3 bandits for 2 extra skill points. Soul of Lunaris is very beneficial for the extra physical damage mitigation and movement speed. It's great in crowded areas, against projectiles, and even elemental damage. You may want to use Brine King instead if stuns are a big issue. Soul of Gruthkul can be used for physical damage reduction after getting hit multiple times. Most of the other minor gods will be good too. You can pick whatever you deem decent. Your passive skill tree is a bit stretched. You have to have the Ghost Reaver Keystone, but also strength nodes that are on the opposite side. It creates an opportunity to allocate 3 different reservation clusters. Eternal Youth will be transmogrified into a trader for flask charges. The remaining points will be spent on cluster jewels, minion clusters, and a bit of leech. For masteries, get increased attributes as attribute mastery, increased effective offerings as minion mastery, increased effective auras on you with increased life reservation efficiency as reservation masteries, and leech mastery to make 10% of it instant. That is all for this guide. If you have any questions, ask us in the comments. See you soon.